parts of California, like if you go to the lakes, right? I mean, the Tahoe Lake and some of the other parts of California, then definitely you will see snow. And even like some of the northern California regions, you will definitely get snow. But I've not seen in San Francisco. Awesome. One more minute and the class will get started. Okay, so okay, awesome.
Ashu Ji,
Huh?
my connection is not really good. I will log in again, yeah?
You were able to log in?
I will come again back. I have to
Okay, no
reestablish
problem.
again.
No problem.
Okay.
Take your time. No problem. So 1 minute and then. Okay, let's get started. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you in the class. As you know, this is the best time of the week when we all get to meet and then practice Hindi. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hindi University. Just for a quick recap for new folks, we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific, which is the time in the California region, the west coast of the US, and we learn about Hindi language. You can also, if you're interested in joining, you can go to our page, tiny.cc/Hindi University, and you can find all the details about joining the Hindi classes and the Sunday Hindi classes as well as the daily practice sessions. Okay. Um, you can also find the Zoom link, that will give you the information about how to join the classes. And lately we've been working on a book called Teach Yourself Hindi, which is a book written by Professor Rupert Snell. You can find the soft copy of the book in the link, if you're interested. And right now we're going over chapter number 12 of that book. So in case if you have missed the previous topics, you can go to the YouTube channel and look at the previous topics and cover systematically. Within chapter 12, there are many topics, and right now we are finishing up a topic called compound verb. It is definitely, I would put it in the advanced category. So if it is harder, don't panic, don't worry. This is supposed to be like that. My suggestion for this topic, at least as we are making progress and moving toward the advanced topic, is try to gradually think in Hindi, which means like don't try to translate everything. Rather look at some of the very popular phrases in compound verbs and see if you can use them in your day-to-day language or conversation. That will give you more confidence, and that whole urge of translating it into your language, your primary language, will be gradually go away. Okay, and you feel more comfortable just in speaking that particular phrase in Hindi itself. Okay, so with that, quick note, let's get to the compound verb. Anyone would like to summarize what a compound verb is? What did we do last time? Which compound verb did we learn about?
Jaana.
Jaana, very good, right? Okay, we learned about jaana. Okay. What is actually, if you were to give a quick recap to anyone, a new person who is joining, what would be your guidance there? What is a compound verb, and when do we use it? I know it's hard. Anyone?
You put it with another verb to give the verb a new shade of meaning.
That's great. That's great. Exactly, right? So typically, that's exactly what it is, right? Typically, when we talk about verbs, we talk about main verbs or action verbs, such as like, khana, pina, okay, khana, pina, sona, right? Which means like, as you know, these are the infinitive form of the verb. Khana is to eat, pina is to drink, sona is to sleep. Okay, typically we use them independently, like मैं apple खाता हूँ, I eat an apple. Okay, मैं पानी पीता हूँ, I drink water. Okay, मैं सोता हूँ, that means I sleep. But compound verbs are when these verbs are used with some auxiliary verbs. Okay, now these auxiliary verbs are not like some foreign verbs. These are also, think about it, jana is also to go. Like, मैं Italy जाता हूँ, for example, I go to Italy. Okay, um, it has a meaning on its own, but when it is used as an auxiliary verb along with some of the main verbs, the meaning of jana is lost. Okay, however, it gives a new shade, as it was spoken, it gives a new shade to the final outcome. Okay, so when you use, khana with jana, it becomes kha jana. So you remove the na, okay, and you say basically kha jana. You use pina with jana, it becomes pi jana. Similarly, if you use sona with jana, it becomes so jana. Okay. So first, in the last class, we learned about the basics of a compound verb. Okay, that there is a new overall verb where the meaning of the auxiliary verb is lost. Like if you now ask me the meaning of khajana, you will not really see to go here anywhere, because that's the whole purpose of, the auxiliary verb, to kind of sacrifice themselves for the overall benefit, right, of the compound verb khajana. Okay, now what is the difference between khana versus khajana? That was another thing that was confusing a lot of learners, right? Why we have this one. Now, the use of compound verb gives the notion that something has been done or achieved. Okay, khana is like you eat, khajana you've finished eating. Okay, pina is to drink, pijana is like you drank up. Okay, that you completed. There's a notion that you've done that particular thing. Similarly, sona is like main soya is like I slept, versus main so gaya, I finished my sleep. Okay, so that was the again the basics of it. Okay, and that's what we covered in the previous class. So hopefully it is, it's slowly sticking together. And in the previous class also, we learned many use cases of, um, of using this auxiliary verb along with many main verbs. Basically, we use many variations of, gaya, which is the past of jana, and we use the popular phrase of it, like basically बिजली आ गई or पानी आ गया or दूध वाला आ गया. So we learned many popular phrases of that. Okay. In this class, my main goal is to um, continue to build on top of it. So as I said, when we're talking about auxiliary verbs, there can be many auxiliary verbs, but there are three more common ones. First one is jana, second one is lena, and third one is dena. Okay. So what I want to do is, like, we spent a lot of time on this auxiliary verb. Okay. So for this class, I want to spend some more time where in the previous class, while I used ana as a main verb, in this class, I want to still use some more example of jana, right? So the first thing we'll do, more examples of more examples of jana. Okay, so the main verb there will be hona. So that's the first thing we'll do, and then after that, we'll do, yeah. So and after that, we'll jump to the use of lena. Okay, and how when lena is used as an auxiliary verb as opposed to the main verb, how can we use in the compound verb? Okay, hang in there. If these all words are still sounding very intimidating, maybe the examples will help. Okay, so any questions, anyone so far? Okay. Okay, let's get started. So if you guys remember, like when we learned about the word hona, what is the meaning of just hona? Anyway,
To be.
to be, very good. To be. Okay. And let's say we want to, as I said, we spend some more time on jana. So let's say hona is used with jana. And I may be asking one person, but whenever I ask questions, feel free to use the chat, Zoom chat or Facebook chat, and try to answer it, because that's the best way for you also, everyone to participate together, right? So let's say I want to use hona with jana to give the notion of the work has been done. What is the outcome of it? What will be the overall compound verb? So this is my main verb here, and this is my auxiliary verb. Okay, now what is my compound verb? Radhika ji, you want to tell us? You have to unmute yourself.
Is it to be going or
Just simple hona with jana. What would be the overall output?
happen something or to be happening?
Okay. So basically, like we said, khana with jana, it becomes khajana, regardless of the English translation of it, right? So
To
here,
become something or
yeah,
to happen.
that's right. So it will mean to become.
So it's a hojana something.
That's it. That's exactly what I was looking for. Ho jana. Okay, ho jana. Okay, ho jana. So you used hona. Again, our main verb is hona, and you use with jana, and basically the output of that is ho jana, which means to become. So from to be, it is to become. Okay. Now, what are some of the popular phrases of using ho jana? Okay, so let's go to that. So we started with our journey with hona. From hona, it becomes ho jana. Okay, ho jana. Now it really depends on how you want to use it. Okay, if you want to use it in the present tense, you can say ho jata. Basically, all the rules that you have for present tense in Hindi, right? You use jata for a boy, jati for a girl, jate, right? So ho jata, ho jati, ho jate. You name it, like you can use it, continue to use it that way. If you want to use it in the past, as you know, the past of jana is Taraji.
हो गया.
Very good, right? So you'll be using it ho gaya, and then for a girl, ho gayi, for plural, it's ho gaye. Okay. Same thing if you want to use in the future. What will be the conjugation? How will this transform ho jana? Sunita ji, you want to tell us? You have to
जाएगा.
Okay, very good. So for masculine singular, it would be ho.
हो जाएगा. हो जाएगी. हो जाएगे.
Okay, very good. So almost. So ho jaunga for a singular person, because in future indefinite, it's like मैं apple खाऊंगा or मैं India जाऊंगा, right? Jana and then जाऊंगा, right? So ho jaunga, ho jaungi, or ho jayenge, right? All the basically, I may not be writing all of them, but you know it, right? And if you want to use it as imperative, we've learned imperatives as well, like where you are giving order, suggestion, request to anyone, right? Um, right. So there, it's basically ho. You can say ho jao, ho ja, ho jaiye, or ho jaiyega. All the regular way we change the ending of the verb. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now it's a lot. You can say like, what the heck is going on? Like it is not even ending, right? I mean, you just fooled us. You started with hona, from there it's ho jana, and then it's like a tree, and it is complex, right? I mean, so where do we start? So we start with this one, past, okay, and then we learn the imperatives. Okay. Once you learn the popular phases of both of them, it'll feel much more better. Okay, and you'll have a grasp of it. Just like we learned in the previous class, bijli aa gayi, okay, or doodh wala aa gaya, or pani aa gaya. So how do we use ho gaya, ho gayi in the past? Okay, so I have some popular phrases, but as I'm writing it, I want all of you to think along. Okay, I want you to think about some of the similar popular phrases that you can use. Okay, so just like you went to a movie theater, let's say. Okay, typically you will say movie shuru hui. Okay, shuru hona, that was, you're using it as a verb. That's it. There is no compound verb. You're just using shuru and along with hona, shuru hona. But because hona is also an irregular verb, you're saying it is like movie shuru hui. The movie started. Okay. If you want to use it as a compound verb, this one, what will you say? Simonaji, you want to tell us? Use, instead of hona, use a compound verb here.
मैं मूवी शुरू गई
No, just there is no subject, basic, in the sense like there is no मैं here. Just simple word sentence. Movie shuru hui.
शुरू
Instead of
गई
that,
I'm not sure it's feminine or feminine movie
just one movie.
movie शुरू गई
Okay. So you have to use ho jana as opposed to hona.
शुरू हो गई
Very good. You got it. Movie shuru ho gai. Okay. Now, to explain the difference between this and this in English, it's a harder problem. Okay. So that's why my request is, try to just see the pairing of it. There is a subtle difference. When I say movie shuru hui, the movie started. Movie shuru ho gayi, movie got started. Okay. Now, as a it is slightly hard to explain it to the non-native speaker, but think about it this way, right? I mean, you are in a movie theater, and you made a plan with your friends, okay, and everyone is here except one, okay, and they're late, and you end up calling them, and it's like, kahan hai tu, movie shuru ho gayi, like where are you? The movie is already started, right? It is basically the act has begun. Okay.
Is it Ashu Ji? Is it like is it started little bit before, because it's like a little bit of dramatized kind of things. It's been started a while ago, kind of. You are emphasizing
I'm trying.
ho gayi means it's not jump.
I'm trying to act accordingly, so you kind of get the intensity of it, right? I mean that movie shuru ho gayi hai,
Okay.
right? So yes,
Yeah, it's a little bit of.
yes, that is true. So let's look at some more example. Maybe that will also clarify it. Okay, so hang in there. Right now we'll do this one first, where we'll use it in the past, and then we'll jump to the imperatives. Okay, but in the meantime, try to absorb all the examples. Okay, try to absorb. Yeah.
So like if I say hui, it's like a fact, right? So like this happened, ye hui. And then ho gaye is like, oh, the action began. Is that correct?
That is
Like
correct.
hui is like a fact, and then ho gaye is like more like you're telling a story, or like kya hua, wo ho gaya.
Yep, that is true. So this is a fact, movie shuru hui, that it happened, versus this is like, you use a specific word here, yeah, Vedant.
Yeah.
Basically, act has started. Okay. So let's do one more example, right? Other, you can say the fact is TV. Like मैं बहुत टीवी देख रहा था और टीवी खराब हुआ. I think this will be a little bit, it'll not even make sense, right? I'll just write it in the number 2, like this one, in the compound word. So you'll say TV खराब हो गई, or, and now, okay, so TV खराब हो गई. Okay, so I'm just using it compound word ho jana in the past. TV kharab ho gayi. Okay, so somebody asking you, like, again, a scenario, right? I mean, kids love watching TV. Okay, and all of a sudden, an elder person is coming, and like, they see kids are not watching TV, and they're like all upset, and the person is asking kya hua, okay, or what happened, and then they can say TV kharab ho gayi. Okay, TV has stopped working. Kharab hona, as you probably know, it's got, I'm using it in that sense. Kharab ho jana is like it's not working. Okay, it has gone bad. So TV kharab ho gayi. Okay. Another example I can give you is like, dukaan. Dukaan, as you know, is a shop. Band ho gayi. Dukaan band ho gayi. Okay, let me ask someone, what do you think it means? Sangeeta ji, you want to tell us what does it mean? What does it convey to you? Dukaan band ho gayi.
The shop has been closed, or the shop is closed.
Shop is closed. How is this different than dukaan band hui? Because somebody can say, like, why are you using ho gayi? Because this has been a consistent question. Like, why use compound word? Dukaan.
Is it closed down?
Yeah.
Ashu Ji, is it closed down?
Closed down. Okay. So in this case, it's a closed down. Okay. And then the first one.
Is it simply closed right now because it's after hours or something? Or
That is correct. That is correct. No, you're right, Anna. So this is like, dukaan band ho gayi. That means like, let's say if it closes at 8 o'clock, it's basically, and you're going after that, it's basically, it is closed down there. Okay. Dukaan band hui is a fact. Like the shop is closed, or not is closed, the shop closed. Okay. Dukaan band hui. I think that's the better way. Yeah.
Ashu Ji, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. Aren't we Asians a bit more dramatic, and it's in every language? Instead of just saying it's done, we just add that little extra spice to it and emphasize it. And we certainly do it in our language. And I think it's the equivalent of that in Hindi, which is very hard to explain in English.
Yeah.
But it's the emphasis. It's not just it's closed off, it's got done. It's just that little bit extra is added flavor.
Can you give an example in Tamil? I know it's probably, but
like house is வீட்டுக்கு வந்தாங்க, they've come, வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டாங்க, we say, which adds that tiny bit extra. வந்துட்டாங்க, they're already here, It's not already, it's very hard to explain in another language, but it works. For certain things I understand, but I can't explain in every compound word.
But thanks for sharing that, right? So at least, if it helps, I think it's not a bad idea to remember it as a fact that this happened. Okay, this one, if it is easier, either you can think about it like the process is already finished. Okay, sense of completion, or you can say that the thing is started. Okay, and as Radhika ji and Nandini is saying, like, it's giving a sense of like emphasis. Okay. So let's do some more example, right? What if I want to use it to explain my emotions? Maybe there the emphasis works, right? Because when we are talking about emotions, it's easier to relate, right? So let's say you shared a joke with someone, okay? One thing would be you will say khush hua, like khush hua. There's a famous movie dialogue, right, in Hindi. I'll let you guys look into it. If you just search for khush hua, like old movie from 80s will show up, and the villain of the movie is using it, right? I mean, so however, if you want to use it along with the compound verb, it would be khush ho gaya. Okay. You can say मैं मेरे पेरेंट्स से मिला और खुश हो गया. I became very happy. Okay. If you want to, so khush ho gaya. Okay. So khush is, I'm assuming here, like I should have written it down. Khush hona is a verb, like to get happy. Khush hona, and it is used along with basically jaana as a compound verb. Okay. Okay. Similarly, if you want to use it like to get upset, right? I mean, so you can say dukhi hua versus dukhi ho gaya. Dukhi ho gaya. Okay. Use it. Think of it as a pair. Maybe that will help you. Dukhi hua versus dukhi ho gaya. Similarly, pareshan hua. Pareshan hua versus pareshan ho gaya. Kelly ji, you are there. You've been quiet. I want to hear your voice. So if you don't
I
mind.
have so many questions. I know it would be too much. No, but so what throws me on this is, okay, so hojana is to become, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I became happy in like kush ho gaya.
Mm-hmm.
Kush hua is not like I was happy, it was I got happy. So it's kind of like, I got happy, but then I became happy. I don't quite get it, so it'll have to wash over me, I guess.
No, you're almost there, right? I mean, the first one, think of it like, it's a fact, right? That, my khush hua, okay? I got happy, and versus ho gaya, right? I mean, it's, now it's hard to say how, that how do you know it's finished? It may not translate one-on-one, but that's why I'm writing like, in pairs. And so that way, at least like when you're thinking about it, at least you have it in front of you.
So could you give like, just for the kush hua and kush ho gaya, like the different, like a different usage, like you would choose one or the other as an example?
Yeah. So that's a hard one. Okay. So let me think actually. Okay.
Or the other ones, if it's easier, like if Parashan is,
Okay. So if I'm telling a story in the past tense, like, let's say I talk about Ramesh, it's a farmer. Okay. And I want to say like, पिछले साल बारिश नहीं हुई. Okay. तो रमेश बहुत परेशान हुआ. Okay. बारिश नहीं होने से रमेश बहुत परेशान हुआ. Okay. लेकिन अब बारिश नहीं हुई और रमेश को लोन भी नहीं मिला, like he didn't get loan also. Okay. अब रमेश बहुत परेशान हो गया. Okay.
kind of like the cherry on the top or something, like it's like this added to it, and oh my gosh, I mean, is that what you're saying? It's like a sense of kind of extra,
you can, yes. So I mean, all of these, it's basically helping you think in that direction, like, at least it became the recipient of whatever verb you are, it's basically flowing toward the user or the subject we are talking about. Ramesh bahut pareshan ho gaya. He's got very, very, like, worried. Okay. Again, it's hard to give the exact translation, so hang in there.
I mean, is it just that, I mean, you could use either, but is it that much where they're interchangeable, or it's not, they're interchangeable?
Yes, that's a good question. Hindi users, they use it interchangeably, and on a day-to-day basis, they prefer to use, as they're comfortable, they prefer to use this form.
Okay, that makes sense. That's
over this one. But if you start with this, there's nothing wrong in it, right? I mean, grammatically both of them are correct. Okay, but like on a day-to-day basis, you get so comfortable in your language that you don't even realize what you're using it, right? But if you ask them what is the meaning of it, I most likely
No,
use-
this is good because is Ted on here today? I don't have all my people, but he's always saying Hogaya, Hogaya, because he hears it everywhere. So
he has all the funny stories, right? So
Ashu Ji, when I studied Hojana, my teacher taught me that most native speakers will always go for the Hojana variant. But if you're not native and you're not comfortable using it, then the best way to learn it is to use it when a state changes. So Kush Hogaya normally would be because an event happened and that person became happy. Like your example, you're talking about he didn't get the loan, so he became more worried. So I don't know if that helps, Kelly G, but I would always.
No, I like that. The state changes. Yeah, because I remember that was in the snow thing too. Yeah.
Yeah. For emotions, it's a good one. But try if you can just to use Hogaya, because most people, they'll speak to you like that anyway.
Okay. The next one is, let's say we have dukhi hua versus dukhi ho gaya, pareshan hua versus pareshan ho gaya. I have two more actually. Gussa hua versus gussa ho gaya. Who would like to give example of both of them? Gussa hua versus gussa ho gaya. Yirka ji, you want to unmute yourself?
I'm not sure.
Okay, give it a try. What is gussa hona?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So what is the opposite of? It's the opposite of khush hona.
Okay, so it's something like sadness.
Angry, anger, basically.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say I gave you the hint. It is, okay. So now you know the meaning of it. You can use it with any subject. So try again. Try to use it with the subject, any subject.
I don't know. Like, I'm lost here. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I want to help out, right? So use with any, like, let's say you want to use it with, use any name. You can use it man, or you can use it any pronoun, and let's see if it makes sense.
So I would say something like mujhko gussa ho gaya.
Okay. So with mujhko, you will say mujhko gussa aaya. Okay. If you are using main, you can use it like main gussa hua. Okay. Or main gussa ho gaya. Okay. So main gussa hua is like I got angry. Okay. Mujhko gussa aaya is like anger came to me. Right. So there we are using ho. It's the same meaning, but using postposition versus not. Okay, hang in there. Okay, so gussa hua, it's gussa hona is to get angry. It's to became angry. Gussa ho gaya. Okay, I'll have one more. Theek. This way you'll probably hear it a lot more, right? Theek hona. So from theek hona, you can say vah theek hua versus vah theek ho gaya. Okay, John, what do you think theek hona means?
Normally it's like to become better, to get better.
To get better, or to get better.
Or to improve.
Or to improve, that is correct. Okay, it can be used in the context of health. So what does it mean? Vah theek hua.
He got better.
Got better, and then this one, vah theek ho gaya.
That to me would mean like he's fully recovered now.
Fully recovered now. Okay, his state has changed. If I want to give your example, like his state has changed and वह ठीक हो गया. Okay, वह बहुत बीमार था, उसने दवाई ली. Okay, और वो ठीक हो गया. Okay, that means again he's fully recovered.
Wait, can you just pause there a minute? Because I think I just got it, John, when you said that so vatikua is it's kind of like he's getting better, he's on the mend, but then vatikogaya is like he's recovered. Is that what you were saying?
That's right. Yeah, but he go, he stayed.
Okay.
One of the examples will hit. That's my hope, right? I mean, first one, third one may not hit, but hopefully. So when you hear people using compound verb, maybe you can question them. Like, why did you use compound verb versus like, just not hua? Okay. Okay, awesome. Let's, any questions, anyone?
Yeah, just a definition question.
Yeah.
Gusa versus krodh, what's the difference?
Krodh is more formal, gussa is more casual. Krodh
Like
is,
gusa na karo?
huh?
Like gusa nahi karte? Like don't scold the kid?
That's right. Gussa nahi karte. Krodh, it's a correct one, right? I mean, but it's like, if anger has an intensity, right? Like if I were to use engineering language, right? And if krodh is probably it's here and gussa is like maybe here, right? So if, it's basically more extreme anger is like krodh,
It's like a sine wave.
right? Hopefully this makes sense, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone? Anna, questions?
Yes, Ashu Ji, may I ask, do we have a present perfect tense in Hindi?
What?
Do we have a present perfect tense in Hindi? I'm looking for names about what we're doing rather than the formation or the use.
It is
We
a
have
present tense. The fact that this thing has completed, it is a present perfect tense.
Thank you. And the simple past would be more just the hua form
That's
as
right.
the.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So right now we use the present perfect form of it, but let's use some of the same sentences, but in the imperative forms. Okay. And you will hear them more often, using them in imperative to give instructions or suggestion to someone, imperative form. So, so let's say you have hona plus jana, right? So we learned about ho jana. Okay, but let's say if I were to give you some popular phrases of, using ho jana, in the imperative form. Let's say you're going to a party, and, you come home and you tell everyone in your house, oh, jaldi taiyar ho jao. Okay, taiyar ho jao. Okay, so taiyar hona is to get ready. Okay, taiyar hona, मैं तैयार होता हूँ, I get ready. मैं 7 बजे उठता हूँ, I get up at 7 a.m. in the morning. उसके बाद after that मैं तैयार होता हूँ. Okay, in this case I am giving instructions to everyone. Okay, let's get everyone, let's get ready. Okay, तैयार हो जाओ. तैयार हो जाओ. Now, this can be used in many ways. Taiyar ho jao is like to get ready to go to the party or to get ready to go to the war also, right? I mean, so what do you call a commander, can say to his troop, all the troops, sipahiyon or like, soldiers, get ready, taiyar ho jao, okay? To give instructions to them, okay? That will work quite well, taiyar ho jao, okay? Get ready or get prepared, okay? Similarly, let's say I am a construction worker, and if I'm giving instructions to my people or my team to get started, okay, what will I say? Get started. Anyone? Get started. If I want to use, the verb shuru hona.
Shuru ho jao.
Very good. Shuru ho jao. Right? Shuru ho jao. Awesome. Okay. Let's say somebody is really annoying me or annoying you, and they have a big, their big mouth that keep talking and talking and talking, and you want them to just keep quiet. Okay, you don't want them to say anything. How do you say that?
Chup ho jao.
Very good. Chup ho jao. Okay, chup ho jao. You will probably hear it in a Bollywood movies. Bhagwan ke liye chup ho jao. For God's sake, just be quiet. Okay. chup ho jao. Everybody got this verb? If not, basically think about it is this way: chup hona. Chup hona is to, who will tell me? What's Salaji? If you have to guess, chup hona.
Be quiet.
Be quiet. Or to stay quiet. Chup hona. Okay, chup ho jao. Okay. You want to tell someone to get away. How do you say that? Get away from you. Now I know these are very harsh phrases, but you have to learn them. Huh? Dur ho jao. Awesome. And Devi has read chale jao also. Okay. Chale jao is correct, Devi. Okay. It's just like we are using, I will use chale jao also. Okay. Dur ho jao. It's basically using the dur hona, right? I mean, so it's not door. I sometimes write, it's read it as dur. Okay. So dur ho jao. Dur ho jao. So these are all dramatic Bollywood dialogues actually. Right? I mean, so that's why you were saying like to emphasize something. Like you have this, like movie dialogue has the notion of emphasizing something like, dur ho jao. Mujhse dur ho jao. So get away from me. Right? So these are all imperatives. Okay. In English, you may find them as a phrasal verbs as well. Okay. So to recap, we started with the definition of compound verb. We looked at the split, like main verb and the auxiliary verb. We said like there are three main auxiliary verbs. There are many more, but like, jaana, lena, and dena. Okay. So far we've used we've spent good amount of time of using, jaana, okay, and many phrases of it. Okay. Now I want to switch gears. This topic may still be hard, okay, but don't worry. Okay. That's what I'll say. Just try to, if I have to give you one single tip for this topic, try to pick 3 or 4 popular phrases that we have done so far and see if you can use it, okay, in your day-to-day conversation, and get comfortable with them, and then come back again, pick, a couple of more, and then build on top of it. Okay, that's what would be my recommendation. How are we doing with time? I know. Okay, so we have a choice now. Either we can spend time on the, in the breakout room, or we can get started on the lena, or I can finish lena and dena in the next class. What do you guys suggest?
Lena, dena.
Lena, dena right now? Okay, awesome. So let's spend time on them. Okay, 1 minute. I think I'm reading the comments as well. Okay, awesome. So let's do the next one. Okay, so let's do the other auxiliary verb. So the next two popular one after jaana is lena and dena. We'll not be able to finish it. It's a longer one, but I'll start it and we'll finish it in next class. If I were to just use lena and dena independently, what does it mean? Leon, won't tell us. You have to unmute yourself. Oops.
Lena means to take and dena to give.
Lena means, that's right. So you said lena is to
take.
Take. And dena is to
give.
To give. Can you give an example? What is, like, how do I use lena as an example?
Yah kitab lo.
Yah kitab lo. Take this book. Okay.
Yeah.
If I have to say, I took an appointment. I took an appointment. Appointment, you can just use English word appointment. That's completely fine.
Okay. Maine appointment liya.
Very good. Maine appointment liya. Okay. I took an appointment. Now, interestingly, when we use jaana, there was no ne. Okay, and all of a sudden you will notice there is a ne has made a guest appearance. Why? Because it's a lena is it's a transitive verb. So that's the difference you will notice here. Like it's a transitive verb. Okay. Now, when it is used as an auxiliary verb along with the main verb, okay, what happens then? Okay, the meaning of lena has to be gone because it's sacrificing its own significance for the greater benefit of a compound verb. Okay, so hopefully the basic is clear. I took an appointment. Okay, मैंने appointment लिया. I took help. मैंने help ली. Okay, I took medicine. मैंने दवाई ली. I took an umbrella. मैंने umbrella लिया. Okay, that hopefully that part should be like understandable. Hopefully that part should be anybody. You should be able to use it. Okay. If this is hard, I have like, if you just go to Hindi University and just search for lena, just for itself, lena, you will get 1 hour video where we have multiple examples of just like, using lena. Okay. So I would start with that if this is where you are having difficulty. Okay. And then after that, basically, I will just give you more confidence. Right? And after that, let's say if I want to use it as an, along with like, another verb. So let's say I have padna as a verb. That's my main verb. And I use lena along with that. Okay. Navneet, you want to tell us what will be the final verb? You have padna and lena. You have to unmute yourself. Okay. Octavian?
Pad?
Say it again. You have padna and you're using it with lena.
Pad?
Very good. Pad?
Yeah.
Okay. So padna along with lena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lena.
So right now we're just looking at the infinitive form. We're not using any conjugation. Right now we are just khana versus khana plus jana, kha jana. Okay. Similarly, I don't want to give too many hints, otherwise I'll give you the answer. Right? So pina plus jana is pi jana. Right? Similarly, padna plus lena, you only remove the na and it becomes pad. You just add this pad lena. Very good. Pad lena. Okay, pad lena. Okay. Here's the key difference though. Okay. Here's the key difference. When we use jana, the way to remember is, the state is changed, right? That was the thing that we kind of learned. Okay. State is changed when we're using it along with the main verb of that, we also learned like the verb 1 is completed. When something is being done, I'm using it. Completed. Okay, verb 1 is completed. Okay. What about lena? How do I know that like pad lena? Right? I mean, what is the key to remember that? Okay, so when we are using lena, it also gives you a sense of accomplishment. Okay, that you have or subject has achieved something. It may not apply in all the cases, but I'm just giving you a general definition of like both lena and dena. Okay. It also tells you the manner in which the act was done. The manner in which the act was done. Like, am I reading it for myself? Okay. or am I reading it for others? Okay, I'll give example of that. Okay, it also can mean that the doer, the person who is doing the act, or the subject is benefited from the act. Okay, I'm talking purely for lena. For dena, it's completely opposite. Like the subject is doing it for the benefit of others versus for themselves. Okay, enough definitions. Let's look at the examples. Right, so I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to write down some examples. So let's say I want to use an example. I bought a phone. I bought a phone. Okay, or how do I say it in Hindi? Devi, you want to unmute yourself and tell us how will you say I bought a phone?
मैंने एक फोन कराई.
Bought is खरीदना, so मैंने एक phone. Okay, you can say लिया or you can say खरीदा. Either way is fine. Okay, मैंने एक phone खरीदा और लिया. Okay, मैंने एक फोन खरीदा और मैंने एक फोन लिया. Okay, now if I want to use it with like lena, in the past tense, I will say मैंने एक फोन खरीद. I should use double E. खरीद लिया is in the past tense, so I'm conjugating it accordingly. Okay, मैंने एक फोन खरीद लिया. Okay, what I'm thinking now is like I want to give you guys some time, and I want you guys to like practice it a bit more before I get deeper into this topic, because I'm thinking now that if I continue to use it, it will basically take. I want to give more time on it, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So why don't we take a pause here? Because like if I go into the details of it, it's gonna go, it'll be unfinished, right? So what I want to do now, I'm gonna probably take a pause here. I want you guys to.
Ashu Ji, can I just ask a question for you? Had all those things for Lena, that it gives a sense of accomplishment, subject has achieved something. The doer is benefited, so it's kind of like it's all about me, when it comes to lena, right? Except when you had the manner in which the act was done. So is that also like the manner about the way I did it, because it's lena?
That's right. So for example, I read the book, right? मैंने किताब पढ़ी versus मैंने किताब पढ़ ली. Okay, that means I read it to myself. Okay, like मैंने फोन खरीदा versus मैंने फोन खरीद लिया.
Bought it for myself, kind of
for
thing.
myself. I benefited from it.
Okay.
Yeah, I benefited from it. मैंने घर खरीदा versus मैंने घर खरीद लिया. Okay, so so I want to gonna just do the breakout room for for all of you, in case if you have to leave, don't